From California, Ms. Porter, for 5 minutes.
I rise to celebrate a foundational program that has delivered for older Americans and people with disabilities. Since 1935, Social Security has lifted millions of families out of poverty. It has protected seniors' retirement, helped disabled Americans live with dignity, and provided a lifeline for families that have lost loved ones. Over 1 million Californians rely on Social Security. We should build on that success, not dismantle a program that adds $0 to the federal deficit. I'm proud to be an original co-sponsor of the Social Security 2100 Act, which will safeguard this program for generations to come. Workers pay into Social Security. They work hard and contribute to our economy. Congress has a duty to keep this nation's promise and guarantee that Social Security will be there when workers and their families need help. On the 88th anniversary of Social Security, let's recommit ourselves to fulfilling this responsibility. August 5th, 2023 marks the 60th anniversary of the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, a milestone that shows our commitment to peace and security. The year before the treaty's signing, the world was closer to nuclear war than ever before. By halting most nuclear tests, this agreement cooled the arms race and demonstrated the power of diplomacy. The anniversary of this treaty also serves as a solemn reminder that the United States has never taken responsibility for the harms of the 67 nuclear tests that we conducted in the Marshall Islands. With world tensions heightening once again, the ideals put forth 6 decades ago in the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty remain just as important today. I have introduced bipartisan legislation to formally apologize for the harms we inflicted on the Marshallese people, and I will continue to demand action as a member of the House Indo-Pacific Task Force. We owe it to our kids and grandkids to safeguard this planet for future generations. The Federal Aviation Administration is responsible for keeping Americans safe in the air and on the ground. It should be subject to rigorous and consistent oversight. Our constituents deserve a Congress that does its job of holding the FAA accountable. Too often, the FAA takes months just to respond to congressional inquiries, much less fix these long-standing problems. I'm proud that the House adopted my bipartisan amendment requiring the head of the FAA to testify annually before Congress so that we can get answers about the agency's successes and shortcomings. My amendment also strengthens the transparency on FAA's response time for congressional requests. Holding federal agencies accountable is not a partisan issue. Every American benefits from tough, consistent, and fair oversight. I urge the Senate to include this oversight amendment in its own FAA legislation. Our troops risk their lives to keep us safe. In training and during combat, they can develop health conditions that aren't immediately visible. To repay those who serve our country, we must do all we can to identify and treat these internal injuries and prevent them when possible. In recent decades, we've seen a striking increase in troops with traumatic brain injuries due to blast exposure. I've worked with Democrats and Republicans to deliver help. The House recently adopted a bipartisan amendment that I wrote to gather more data on how routine brain scans can contribute to the diagnosis, treatment, and even prevention of brain injuries. At least one study has shown that regular brain imaging can accelerate patients getting the care they need and put them on the path to recovery. A more complete understanding of this technology will help us get our service members the top-notch care that they deserve. I yield back.